Welcome everybody to the Boulder City Council Cyclist Forum. My name is Adam Swetlick. As Russ said, I used to serve on City Council and I'm happy I am not anymore. Because now I get to do fun stuff like this. So, a few announcements before we begin. First, I want to thank the people who put this forum on. That is Community Cycles, Cyclists for Community, and the Boulder Mountainbike Alliance. Also to Full Cycle for giving the space. Now, in return for the space, there are $5 margarita drafts tonight. And get your paninis, because they are delicious. So feel free to go up, get drinks and food at any time. We are going to have a little bit of a break in the middle of the questions, so that'll be another good time to get more drinks. But please don't let me stop you from imbibing. What else tonight? I want to thank our elected officials who came this evening. So Judy Amable, thank you so much for being here. Any other electeds in the crowd that I haven't seen? Oh, of course. Tara's trying to keep her spot though, so make sure you keep her honest. Thank you. All right, the way this is going to run this evening, we're going to do 1 minute candidate intros, only 1 minute this evening. Then we will have 3 rounds of questions. The first round, all the candidates already know the answers to the questions because they saw the questions in advance. The second round, they have not gotten the questions unless they came last night, and several of them did, so they may have a little advanced knowledge. And the last round will be questions from the audience. If you have a question, please head over to the gentleman waving right there, and he will give you a note card to put your question on. We'll select as many as we can before our time is up. And with that being said, I think we're ready to go. So,
do they know about the warning signs?
Oh yeah, candidates, warning signs. You get a 30-second sign when you have 30 seconds remaining, if you could show them, please. And if you are at time, we're gonna ring the bell on you. It's super, super scary. What's the internet? I actually don't know the Wi-Fi. Russ, what's the Wi-Fi password? Asking the most important question of the night. What is the internet password? All right, let's get this rolling here. So we're going to ask, since we have sort of an odd number of candidates, this first question will go to the 4 candidates furthest from me. The second question will go to the 3 candidates in the middle. Oh, and yep, I'm just going to lay this out so everybody knows. And the third question will go to the 3 candidates here. So we'll start with intros, and we'll start all the way down in the end. Sorry, Jock. Yep, we're going to start with you.
Is it on? Perfect. Introductions. Cool. Hi there. I'm Jacques Takala. I was born and raised in Boulder over at North Boulder Community Hospital, which is going to be developed into an incredible, hopefully multi-mixed-use facility. Looking forward to working on that if elected. I grew up riding the bus and riding my bike around Boulder. Never had a car, never needed a car. My parents were never concerned with the city having public safety issues. And that's a vision that I really want to bring back to Boulder. Rode my bike down 30th here for the first time since it's opened up. Awesome work by the city, but there is still work to be done. That's the thing with infrastructure, is the work is never done, and we have to constantly keep innovating to find solutions that work for us. I'm an environmentalist by trade, by my beliefs, by my morals. I grew up understanding conservation through the amazing footwork that the city has laid forward with our mountain and open space programs. I went to Western Washington University, which is an incredible area in Bellingham for mountain biking. I love biking.
So who here really loves it when you find a great big parking spot right by where you want to shop? I was just seeing if there were any next door plants in the room. We're cyclists, so we don't care about that whole thing. Yeah, I love biking. We're all going to say that tonight. I don't own a car, so you can believe me that I love biking. Who here loves our new underpass at 30th? In Colorado, a bunch of us, Tara Weiner, Ryan, of course, we're up there today. So, that's an example of what we want more of. We want biking that is safe. We want walking that is fun. We want less climate crisis and less road rage. And, I think many years ago, I grew up here like this guy. We were born in this exact same room, probably. But many years ago, I think Boulder was an example. No longer. We have some work to make up for and to help Ryan and folks.
Hi, my name is Tina Marquis, and you might know my name. I used to serve on the Boulder Valley School District School Board. I was there for 8 years, president for 4 years, and I'm running for City Council with 3 priorities. One is more affordable housing for people with families in particular. The other is to make sure we meet our climate goals that we adopted in 2019, and the third is to be a model city for providing help for the homeless while maintaining a high level of public safety in our open spaces and on our pathways. As a biker, I started mountain biking in Vermont. I cracked my first helmet on a 17.6 mile trail in Michigan called the Potawatomi, and on my first mountain bike riding that Boulder, I was passed by a pregnant woman running up Gold Hill. I don't ride as much anymore on my mountain bike. I'm more of a town biker, and I am always worried about bike theft and want to specifically focus on that as well so that I feel more comfortable riding downtown. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Aaron Gabriel Nair. Background in technology, master's in eco-psychology. I'm sure many of you have heard this spiel before. I wanted to share a little story. Yesterday I was biking down the bike path, and I was going to meet up with my friend right beyond Evan G, and I parked my bike for a bit, and then ended up having a conversation with somebody who was an unhoused individual, and got to talking about what the needs were and what the issues were. She's going to be moving. She got a voucher for housing in Longmont, and she's moving there because it was too challenging for her to be on the street with so many drug problems and things like that. I was going to be going back to meet with her today, but I think she was still at her meeting in Longmont, so we didn't. Ended up bumping into a friendly fellow from Holland who asked me to give him a ride back into town. And I was like, I don't have a car. He's like, what about that bike? I'm like, I don't think there's a seat on that, but okay, let's try. And so I gave him a ride into town. One of the reasons I want to run is I want to bring more conversations. I want to bring the energy of dialogue and connection and look at how we can be, you've all heard it and my time's up.
Okay, a minute's tough. Hi, I'm Jenny Robbins. I'm running for Boulder City Council. I'm a mom. I have 2 kids who are 11 and 13. They ride e-bikes and regular road bikes. Professionally, my background is in land use and zoning and contract negotiations. Personally, I call myself a chronic volunteer. I've been a community advocate since I was in my late teens, working with any organization I can. If you ask me for help, chances are I'm going to be the girl who will tell you yes almost every single time. I'm an advocate for youth and family, public safety, environmental sustainability, arts, and equity. I grew up in Chicago. I went to Marquette. I rode my bike. I was a biker, commuting biker in college throughout Milwaukee. I had an awesome old school, like 92 Gary Fisher. And then from there, now I live out in Gun Barrel, so I don't commute because I work from home, but I do ride around. I steal my kids' e-bikes all the time and ride them through our neighborhood and do some shopping up at King Soopers. So that is my background, and thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Schuhart. Pronouns are he, him. I am the dad of 2 small girls, kindergarten and 2nd grade, who travel around Boulder mostly on a bike. I'm incredibly concerned about their safety, mostly. By the numbers, that's cars, and there's more to it which we'll talk about. I am also a climate advocate by professional training in my day job. I've been doing the work since 2007, soon after I became awakened to the climate crisis as a Peace Corps volunteer. I'm also a member of the city's Transportation Advisory Board. I've been working to help get the new system of protected bikeways, the Core Trail Network, up and running, helping with that, helping to get new e-bike incentives out that you may have heard of. Hopefully you've considered as an opportunity. to get parking reform that will help reduce our traffic get going, and pushing on public transit, which we'll talk about as well. If I'm elected to council, I'm going to take some of the wind that is in the sails of our current council, and I'm going to push and move much of this further and faster. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tara Weiner. I'm currently on City Council. I'm running for re-election. I remember 2 years ago I was at one of these fantastic forums, and I remember I gave everybody a promise, and I might or might not have done it to get votes. You decide after you hear what I said. I said, I want to make Boulder the best bike tourist town in the country. Whether or not I did it for votes, I can't tell you. Well, maybe I did. But I have, for the past 2 years, really tried to do that. You know that if you know me, you know how much I care about safety in biking, e-bikes, safety in the underpasses and on the bike multi-use paths as well as the roads. So I've done this for the past 2 years, and I will continue to work hard for the biking community. Thank you.
My name is Griffin Terry. I'm standing in for Silas Atkins, who is unable to attend as he is helping finalize the Elevate Boulder Basic Income Pilot for direct cash assistance as a member of the task force. Silas is running for the first time. He's a single dad earning poverty wages. Everything comes back to people. We need our basic needs met, and when they are, we feel safe to be more productive and engaged members of our community. You will hear the theme of people and community from Silas frequently, as he knows it will carry us forward together. Silas, his friends, and the entire Boulder community all need and deserve affordable housing, thriving wages, direct cash assistance, robust transportation that descenders cars, as well as spaces to attend time together enjoying arts and culture. All of this supports and must be looked at in sustainable ways that promote climate resilience. Silas wants Boulder to work with other communities to bring everyone up together. Many people will talk about wanting these same things. Silas is here to make them happen because they affect him, people he cares about, and the Boulder community daily. If elected, Silas will vote for what is good for the entire community long term.
Hi, my name is Terry Burnchich. I've been here for 9 years. I have 2 boys that are at Boulder High School. I'm a CFO and a CPA by training. We are a very avid mountain biking family. My eldest son races varsity for the Boulder High mountain bike team and is one of the team captains. So we spend many of our fall weekends up in the mountains checking out the trails. I long for the days, however, of buying bikes at Target. For me, I feel like bikes are really offering a really transformative way for us to rethink our relationships with cars, especially e-bikes. The ability to cover short and medium distances without the impediments that traditional bikes present really opens up the possibilities for us. And I hope that as we formulate our environmental, our transportation, and our housing policies, that we really build with that in mind so that we can leverage all of the benefits that e-bikes can present to our future infrastructure. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. My name is Taisha Adams. I use she, her pronouns, and I've been living here in Colorado in the city for 11 years. And I was brought here to play. I mountain bike, I climb, I ski. I was like, yeah! And then, so much so that I got on the Commission for Colorado Parks and Wildlife. And I just rolled off my 4-year governor appointment. And I learned that this isn't just my playground, that this is our home. And our home is hurting right now. And so I bring expertise in climate. I actually have a company in climate. I consult with governmental agencies, nonprofits, and businesses, but I also have social justice at my heart as well. And so I think of the safety of everyone. I am concerned about the safety of the path and the creek, but I'm also concerned about the safety of people who look at me when we're in cars or we're doing anything, and making sure that we're not over-policed. And so again, how do we balance people and planet? I'm an ecosystems thinker, so I'm always trying to connect the dots. Thank you.
Thank you, all the candidates. Wonderful intros. So we're on to the questions that they got in advance, so they should have pretty well prepared answers. Everyone gets 2 minutes to answer these questions. The first question is going to go to the 4 candidates furthest from me. And we're going to start with Waylon this time. Yep. All right, the first question of the evening. In order to move the needle dramatically on reducing vehicle miles traveled and getting more people on bicycles, we will need a complete safe street system so that anyone from 8 to 80 can have a reasonable expectation that a trip on a bicycle anywhere in town will be safe and comfortable. This may require hard choices around spending and travel lane for vehicles reduction. Would you support eliminating car traffic lanes in favor of protected bike lanes on Iris Avenue? What other major thoroughfares would you propose to be put on a road diet?
Yes is the answer. If we want to be a truly safe, fun city for cyclists, we need to look at all the streets, or at least everywhere everyone needs to go. Right now, we are not safe for 8 to 80. We're probably vaguely safe for hardcore daily cyclists like myself. My neighbors next door have 3 lovely kids. They have at least 8 bikes in the garage, and they use them, I don't want to be judgy or unfair to them, but probably once a month. They have a huge hulking SUV, the kind you can't even see a kid in front of, and a truck, and those get daily use. Why? Not because they're bad people, because they do not feel safe with their 3 children like little ducklings biking along. Today I had a lady turn on top of me nearly while texting, which while feeling like my life flashed before my eyes, I also felt pretty impressed that she was able to turn in traffic while texting. Not the kind of impressed meant to coin a new word that I want to feel. I want Boulder to be a bike city. I grew up biking here. I bike to Casey. I feel like now I see lines of parents idling, dropping off their kids. It's no longer considered safe because so many people are texting. Yes, on Iris. Yes, everywhere. Yes. Do I need to be popular? No one here is running for a popularity prize, except for possibly Tara somehow is still popular despite serving on council. It's really irritating. But the rest of us, we're here to do service, to help this city become better. Boulder has become a little bit mediocre in terms of bike lane safety, in terms of climate mitigation, in terms of affordability. Mediocre might be an improvement in terms of working together to handle homelessness compassionately and pragmatically. We can do better.
Waylon, I think you're popular. I do. I get that sense. So yes, the question first talks about the IRIS and how to address bike lanes. I think we just need to first make a commitment that we're going to make this a biking-friendly city. We are already doing a lot of good work, but I would advocate for creating more safe opportunities and not just limiting it to an IRIS conversation, but trying to think about the entire city. How do we safely get from east to west, north to south, and thinking about how people move in their bikes, on their bikes to get to where their workplaces, whether it's on 55th and Pearl, or whether it's down in South Boulder at NCAR. So I don't think just one road is the answer. I think it's looking at a whole ecosystem of bike pathways. I'm also very worried just about the just making sure that everyone does feel safe on bike paths, whether they need to be lit at night, which I know sometimes comes in conflict with our dark skies priorities, but it is important that people can ride past 5 p.m. I also think we need to think about impacts of other decisions. So the school district moved up its elementary start time this year, and so for part of the year, kids will be riding a little bit in darkness. And I think we need to evaluate decisions like that when we're working across governmental agencies to make sure that we're promoting biking and that people feel safe just in terms of whether it's dark or light outside. And then finally, funding is going to be the issue. I don't think there's a lack of consensus on increasing biking, but thinking about ways to get money, whether it's through grants, whether we need to be thinking about a heavy vehicle tax that might be able to fund part of these initiatives so that we can accelerate our work in this area.
One of the things I appreciate about Tina is how much she looks to synthesize and what perspectives are needed and bring together the collaboration. I forgot to tell a part of my story, which is after biking with that fellow from Holland, we were chatting about bike systems and how Holland, Netherlands have such a good bike system. And I would like to see Boulder take steps in that direction so that, like, whereas so many places in Europe are doing it so amazing, like, what can we do in Boulder to be a model that other cities in the country can follow? Like, I think we're doing a decent job, but we could be doing so much more, and we could really inspire others. So let's move in that direction. The question is an obvious yes. We should definitely work to prioritize bikes. I think Iris is a great way to do that. It does not feel safe biking on Iris. I do it every now and then. It's like zooming cars. So yes to that. Yes to prioritizing bikes on more and more streets. Ryan's work with the Core Arterial Network is amazing. So, like, let's lean into that. Let's look at where the highest priority areas we can go that we can prioritize bikes. And let's really see if we can dream bigger and see if we can make Boulder into a place that is known for our innovative solutions around climate, around resiliency, around transportation, and be a place that we can really be proud of. So that's the Boulder I want to see and what I want to work together with other people to bring about.
Weird math. All right. So, like everybody else, I am in favor of this. Some of the biggest concerns are safety when biking. Even coming down 30th today, there were parts where you would have to get back on the sidewalk where the bike path narrowed, and one part where the bike path widened back up. A bus cut me off, and I had to actually get into the bike lane, or the car lane. So it's on its way, but it's not quite perfect. So when looking at Iris, we have to make sure that we're maximizing space available to have the safest bike paths possible. We should also look to expand this across Boulder as well, on other roads. And one of the best things about creating a bike path that is removed from vehicles is not having the fumes in your face. I hate that when I'm biking down the road. I don't know about anybody else. So that's why I try to opt for our amazing bike paths that already exist. And maybe I'll take the long way to get somewhere, have a more scenic route. But sometimes people are in a time crunch. So we have to look at smart ways to reduce vehicles on the road and increase bike infrastructure. Looking to what other cities have done, like Europe, by removing streets and increasing bike paths, or changing roads from two-way roads to one-way roads to create more space for bikes to be able to go down this. And so if we were to look into that, we'd want to look at side streets that would make it more available, work with neighborhoods, of course, to make sure that they're in favor of that. There's a lot of work to be done to create this infrastructure to make Boulder the most bikeable city. Boulder used to be the most recognized city for biking infrastructure in the world at one point, and then cities surpassed us. They saw what we did and they said, hey, that's great, let's make that better. So now it's time for us to flip the script and say, hey, what they do better than us, how can we bring that here and make Boulder the most sustainable city possible? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, candidates. So the second question is going to be for the three in the middle, and it's going to start with Ryan. Waylon, I'm running this, not you. Thank you.
Okay, so we're talking about
No,
bike theft.
no, we're not. Because I haven't asked the question yet. They'll need to hear the question before you can answer it. But you're right, Ryan. The question is, bike theft has reached epidemic proportions during the last council session. If elected, what specific policies or actions will you pursue to reduce bike theft? Ryan?
Thanks, Adam. Okay, who's had their bike stolen? A bike stolen at least once. Okay, more than once. More than twice. I'm gonna stop there. Who's had something stolen from their bike? This is mine. Okay. Who has been part of a bicycle rescue operation? Who doesn't ride their bike sometimes because they're worried about what's going to happen? Okay. This is clearly a problem for us. This is a problem for the community. Last numbers I saw, around 1,000 bikes annually have been stolen at around $2 million for the city. That's important, but it's much bigger than that, of course. For Recent research shows that in towns like Boulder, 30 to 40 or more % of people can't drive, shouldn't drive, or are financially or otherwise stretched from being able to drive. And for those people, they need better options. Bicycles, whether they're just conventional bikes or they're electric tricycles that give people that need stability, extra stability help, they're critical means of transportation, and we need to treat them as such. There's a lot of things we can do to help with this problem. One thing that the empirical evidence in transportation shows us is that prevention is one of the strongest and most effective forces in solving our problems. So if we treated bike parking like we did car parking, then we would have bike parking minimums, we would have U-locks everywhere, including us, inverted a bunch of U-locks outside here. We would have bike lockers a lot more prevalently. We'd probably have more downtown. We would make sure that people that live in multifamily dwellings aren't expected to take their bike up the stairs. They're not expected to take the car up the stairs. We should make sure that they can have that. Employers should make it a lot easier and more convenient to take your bike to work. We can do that, we can design that, we can regulate that. Big picture, what it takes is City Council, the elected body, to say, this is a political imperative.
I'm so excited that I'm finally popular. I have waited for so many decades for this. Bike theft is one of my #1 issues, I'm going to say. For me, getting seniors, I'm one of the oldest people here today, onto their bikes and doing their errands and recreating on their bikes and e-bikes is one of my #1 things that I do. I always say it's my e-bike ride every day is the happiest hour of my day. But, if you go on next door, there's a lot of pushback because people say, oh, my bike's going to be stolen and I'm not going to take it downtown. So the way I figure it, there's 3 entities that can do something about bike theft. First of all, it's the city. Secondly, it's us. And third, it's businesses. So starting with businesses, there should be no reason why Table Mesa, this was on next door, so I assume it's right. Why Table Mesa King Super should constantly be having bikes stolen off of their bike racks. Why aren't those bike racks right in front of the store? And by the way, why isn't the security guard looking after the bikes also? What are they doing in there? I'm just saying, all right? I'm not blaming the security guards, but so getting businesses to do something about how they have to think ahead about how are we gonna get people down here and put their bikes down here. We have to do it in such a way that there's racks right in front of the places. And there also possibly even some bike cages, as Ryan said. But also for us, I personally have 2 locks because I want to go downtown and I don't want to stress out. So I think 2 locks is a good idea. Putting my bike where people can see it, actually on the corner of the eye, looking at it myself. And so people being careful is a good thing, and registering your bike like we all know. What was the third thing? I already forgot. I said people, the city. Thank you. Bike valets to me is the wave of the future. I think we've had one for our Wednesday night Band on the Bricks, and it was outstanding. So I really hope that's where we start going, is bike valets. Did I say bike valet? Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so bike theft. I think that both Ryan and Tara have said a lot of amazing ideas tonight, which I agree with. And I think that the theme is really prevention. So a $1 million idea is creating some sort of an irremovable air tag that we could put on our bikes in order to keep them tracked. We can make sure that we register our bikes. We can make sure that we subsidize as a city. We currently subsidize U-locks. We can continue to subsidize U-locks. Valets, amazing for Band on the Bricks. We have to support our police. Our police department recently put together a sting operation for the bike stealing rings in the city. It was called Operation Vicious Cycle, and broke up really very intricate bike theft rings, which in turn then lowered the bike thefts. Right now we are down in Boulder for bike thefts. Part of that is because I think people are protecting their property more, and I think that's also because the police are working on some of these existing bike rings, rings to make theft rings, to make sure that that they are not able to operate here in our city. like I said, I live in Gun Barrel, so we don't come down this way a lot. My kids have taken their bikes on RTD, but I think that's another thing that we can do to make it easier for people to get around on bike and public transportation at the same time. It's actually quite difficult to get from, for kids to get from 29th Street Mall to Pearl Street. It'd be much easier to do on a bike. So they started bringing their bikes on RTD, and they find it to be a difficult process. So if we can work better with RTD and the city to make it public transportation and cycling work together more seamlessly, I think that would be a really helpful way to get to bikes around as well. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. The third question, we'll be starting with Terry, and then we'll pass to the left. Yep, you guys are getting it. Nice job. Third question is, would you support a soft surface single track trail open to bikes, either an existing hiker only trail or a new trail, connecting the south end of town to the Dowdy Draw trailhead? Why or why not? If so, how?
So the short answer is yes, definitely. It is infinitely more fun and better for the environment to ride to a ride than to load up the bike rack and get in the car. So anytime we can get better connectivity between our trails is a big win. Selfishly, my son also rides down there on a monthly basis for mountain bike practice, so I would love to have a safer and more protected corridor for him to commute through. That said, I think that we would want to talk with the open space and transportation folks to understand what the best way would be to go about carving out a trail like that. I don't know who owns the land there or what it would be going through. I would think we'd want to try to leverage some existing trails if possible so that we don't have to disturb or fragment existing ecosystems that might be in that space as well. But I definitely think we should try to explore this as much as possible. Thanks.
So I'm the parent that wants to say yes to have the candy, but I also am married to the dentist or something, which is to say I just rolled off Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and so I'm going to say I would hesitate building a new trail right now. We have significant habitat fragmentation right now. We also have a mega drought. So every new trail we build, I need you to imagine what happens when it rains. The rain goes where those trails go and not to the habitat it needs to go to. And so this is where I ask, there are actually trails that you can take the highway up, or we can come up with other strategies using existing infrastructure as much as possible. Again, it does interrupt the joy in the front end, but I also have joy in thinking 7 generations from now. And what are the decisions that I need to make now that may inconvenience me, but allows my children's children's children to thrive here? Thank you.
Yes, Silas supports connecting South Boulder to the Dowdy Draw through either repurposing existing hiking trails or building new parallel trails. Silas doesn't have extensive knowledge of this process and how that might happen. However, he has faith that the city staff would find the right solution to this.
And that concludes our first round of questioning. We're actually going to take a brief break now. It's going to be the only one of the evening. You'll have about 10 minutes, so everyone needs to be seated and ready by 6:38.
Last call on questions.
Yeah, last call for questions. If you want to write a question down, head over there. Otherwise, head to get a drink and some food. Thank you.
That was good.